Ugh. Kind of got a rush on this, too. Not really. I'm supposed to be getting these to my one buddy. And I think I got a tournament this weekend, so I'm not going to be up in that area anyway. Technically, we have like 2 weeks. Maybe a little less. Alright, let's get music going for the Twitch peeps. Alright, hopefully that's fine. And now we get into the build. Kia! Canoptek Circle. I loved the old Hyrotech. When I saw the rules for these guys, I was like, a bit powerful. So I decided to avoid them. But my one friend really likes Necron. He loves how they play. So the question... Ooh, nice. Atomizers, Gauss, Tesla. Yeah. The question is, do we want to actually magnetize? And what do we even have access to? This looks like the leader, which should just be straight up. I think these are the beetles, and then these are the little guys. Yeah. I'm only seeing... Oh, no. There we go. Maybe? No. Yeah, I'm only seeing what looks like 2 variants. Not necessarily. Let me look at the build. Let me look at the actual team build. See what he can take. See if it matters. I know the little guys can take different things. And the first time I played against my one friend with this team, he kind of declared the guns as we went. Just because it like kind of worked out that way. Alright. The Accelerator, Reanimator, they're going to be what they are. The Tomb Crawlers. He could go double twin Gauss Reapers, but he can only go 1 transdimensional. And then the Warriors can switch between Scalpels and Tesla. Is there a reason to go multi whatever the variant that isn't Tesla is? Severe Torrent. 4 5s. 5 attacks. 4 5. Yeah, there's like almost no reason to go twin Gauss. Almost no reason. I mean, I guess if you're dealing with, I mean, we could. One of them can be swappable. The way I'm planning on painting these, the glow effect should stop at, like, the lower body, so the upper bodies can just kind of look regular. So I think we could get away with some magnetic, because all the gun shifts are on the back, I believe. Like, even the macrosites. Which, yeah, there is a reason to go between Scalpel and Tesla. Okay. Okay, I think we got this. I think we know. So at the very least, we should be able to build the big guy. The Geomancer. 2 big bases for the tanks, a bunch of littles for the accelerators and the macrosites. Geomancer. Let's get some magnets going. No, it's a random stream day, but I do need to get these done. And it was going to be kind of like I either just build them off stream randomly and then I guess we just go straight into the painting, or I could at least work on the builds including the magnetism. Go through all of them. I've also got some more gas on the way. It's the Ozark Bone Reaper model that has the wings and these really big like lances and stuff. I am gonna finally get around to building my alternate 2 demon princes with wings for my Thousand Sons. Utilizing those models because honestly I've looked and yeah, the freaking Grotmist attachment is probably one of the closest things to what I would actually want to play. And I was kind of sizing up the idea of using it, and honestly the demon princes were like the best way to actually build that out. And then I've recently started seeing people in their lists for tournament play involve that. It's usually like 2 full-size squads of Terminators. Those are your like point hold units. It's 2 small squad Zangors. It's the rotational squad of Zangors that usually hangs out at the back with their bows. I don't even think you give them a leader if you can't. And then it's 3 demon princes with wings, and then a single demon prince on foot. And that single demon prince is able to sit between the 2 Terminator squads in your zone, hiding behind a wall. And he just provides the Terminators -1 to hit for people shooting at him. And I think you have to take Terminator Sork Lords because of the +1 in shooting. This also gives you 3 units with a 6-inch deep strike. Which is super brutal. Let's build the Geomancer. He doesn't need any well, I guess she doesn't need any alternatives. Any alt builds. Let's just straight up get into it. My one buddy came over for our gaming weekend. The one that I'm building this team for. So that he could just play a couple rounds. Dear God. We did a 2v3 was how we planned it. 2 of the armies outside of mine are based on my armies. So, like, I knew all the rules for them. Oh my God, man. I was basically playing 3 armies at once. Because, like, I didn't want to just be like, I'm not going to tell you anything about your army. You're going to have to figure it out and then deal with it as we go. And that's how you're going to win or lose. Like, I decided to give, like, the multiple choice concept out there of, like, this is what your guy can do. This is kind of what he's meant for. So it started getting wild, man. Never been more burned out in a very short period of time, though. It's crazy when you get home from, like, a weekend of doing this. And then you're just like, oh man, I'm kind of tired. I guess I can go to bed. And then you do, and you don't wake up till, like, noon the next day. And you're still freaking tired. Pull the glue out of this cap. Jesus Christ. What is going on with my glue? How did the cap on this glue itself shut? I've never had that happen with this glue. Dear God. Okay. A11, 14 and 15. So the plan here, I've always had a plan for like a Necron army that I would want to build visually, of the plate armor being an extremely clean looking white almost. So I have a really light gray, like a super light gray. And then I have like kind of like a phthalo blue we're going to start it at. Like an almost white phthalo blue. So like the plate armor, like this stuff on the back, that's going to be the white. Maybe every single like raised joint here will end up being that phthalo blue to sort of really light gray into highlight white specifically. Like specific, very, very focused spots will have the pure white on it, which is normally not good on a model. You don't want to do that. But I think it will work here, because then the inner components are all going to be sort of Garrigax sewer done as like a sort of rusted metallic. Which side has to go up here? This side? It's weird. Okay, I get it. Next component looks like an A3, A4 system. So yeah, the plan is going to be, I think we're doing a yellow. We're doing the yellow to the green build up for a glowing surface. Right? And then on the body itself, we're gonna do probably that turquoise I usually use in that situation, like a nice dark stark color, either a turquoise or a purple. And then we're gonna do phthalo blue into most likely a light gray. I might need to go get a light gray. And then once that's done, on the top part, we go in with physical Garrigax sewer into the recesses, and then we physically do the white highlighting. These bits are always so wheedly, though. Like, I hate it when they put, like, the connecting point all the way out here. The worry is always that this craft knife grabs a little too much and then just goes straight through. That's why they say using a slightly dulled craft knife is better for this kind of a thing. It tends not to take like whole chunks out of them. What the hell's happening here? Okay. Dude, you've got to be kidding me. Okay. Stupid, wheedly Necron bits. This component right here goes flush. And the little wire neck connects directly. Dude, that... When you got, like, an absolutely micro detail, like the wires connecting to the under part of the head right there. Jesus. Alright, let's hit it with the A5. I think we'll build the Beetle tanks after this. One tank is going to have the rotatable gun. I imagine that's how we'll go. And then we got to basically figure out the magnetization point for every single one of the little guys. Which, again, you don't have to, but I do think it's worthwhile. Because apparently what happens is when you bring the units back in, those little macrocytes, when they die and come back, you can switch their guns. So, like, against something like, what is it? Oh. Against something like Chaos Cults, you start with anti-infantry and then you switch to anti-elite kind of situation. Like, it's actually kind of useful. Yeah, Jesus Christ, dude. They're not as bad as the Psychomancer. Here, let me... Not as bad as the Psychomancer, but still kind of shit. Oh, God. A6, A7... Thank God. These guys are organized, like, per sprue, which is probably for when they eventually get released separately as models for the Necron. So that's super useful. Because the Geomancer's on its own sprue. The spider tanks are on their own sprue, and then all the little guys are just on their own sprue. You don't have to like jump between sprues to find the guns and parts. Massively beneficial. That hold for a bit. How do you glue this on? How does this work? What even is this piece? I get that it's sort of like a clock or something they're holding. But like this is the thumb and one finger here. What the actual fuck? So much money on Space Marines. Yes, between the Ultramarine Combat Patrol and the Battle Force box. I mean, if you're getting in on the Space Marine floor, yeah, I mean that's fine. Thankfully, the team's out now. I mean, I don't know how easy it'll be to get going forward necessarily. How does this position? How does this go? Does it go like this? I think I figured it out. Flavor Flav. It's close to this. I see the goal. It's like this side of the hand here is what is supposed to kind of line up on this inside component. Ta-da! Damn, another Blood Angel player in chat. Wraith plays Blood Angels. It seems fun. As an Emperor's Children player, it has a lot of the same flavor, but with a lot more bodies. So it seems super fun. Okay. Now it wants me to combine these two. Okay. I see the connecting points. We have to make sure that gets put proper. Okay, this is the connecting point moment that sucks. Because tail's got to be flush. There. But because this was like multiple components leading up to this top component, this little arm is kind of out of position. So I have to kind of flex and fold. That's the thing, man. We don't have to use jump packs because we have a 7-inch move and we can charge after advance always. So like I don't really care about the jump packs, and we don't use transports. You've been watching me use transports. I normally don't use them because sadly there's not enough points that we have access to really warrant using too many rhinos. We just go. We have no way to kill tanks, so we have to have 3 demon princes with wings tax. Oof. Look at that nonsense. Fulgrim's terrible, but that box is still really good, I think. I think whatever else is in it's pretty good for the collection. The combat patrol is the god tier, though. Linneman's doesn't use rhino, but yeah, rhinos are good in the list, specifically for the noise marines, because you can advance a rhino, drop your noise marines out, and still shoot. Because rhinos have like a baby version of assault of the assault ramp. It lets you advance. Considers that the advance was a normal move. So your 6-inch noise marines suddenly have a 13-inch minimum threat range for movement and then an 18 for shooty. With an extra 3 for the dropout, which is kind of like 1 layer of noise marine. It's good. I'm not going to lie. It is good to do the rhinos. It's just the John Lennon approach doesn't have room for it because it's 3 demon princes with wings, 3 noise marine squads, 1 cacophonous, 2 exultants, 2 infractors, I think 2 squads torms. And that's straight up 2K. You do not have room for rhinos. It's a struggle though. Okay, we're not going to tinker too much with this. It's close to dry, and that's what you need. That's the shape. Upper body time? Yep. Let's see how this gets placed. Okay, the wires in the under part hang out the bottom. The Morghast aren't here yet. I'm hoping I get the Morghast before we paint these, because I want to paint the Morghast at the exact same time. Wraith wants us to try it, which, I mean, that's fine. I haven't personally tried it yet. We've been mostly focusing on doing 2Ks, but like multiplayer 2Ks, which have been incredible. Alright, bottom half is, and then the staff looks like the way we're going. A2, A1. I think I might need to use a brush to get some... Yeah, we'll do that now, actually. I need to get some crackle paste down. This thing is meant to look like it's coming out of the ground. Oh, dude. That would be the most wild match ever. Jack getting hit with indecision, but still occasionally making a good decision. And then we'd have to have Max's rulebook open next to both of us. Because finding out that a lot of the rules he was hitting us with weren't even actually in his book. I gotta sort that out. We gotta figure out exactly what's going on there. The crackle paste I have isn't good on plastic. It likes primer. So the primer really helps here. We just gotta let it dry a little bit. Those black stones I ordered to try to like enhance the basing for these guys, they were way too big. Way too big. Yeah, I kept asking him about the feel no pain. He was like, yeah, I feel no pain there. Like, had he been like command point feel no pain, it would have been a different story. Because, like, we had like 5 command points at the end of that one game. So, like, it's fine if he was doing like, yeah, feel no pains. And then we just, you know, minus it. It's fine. I just need to know, bro. And then that Grimaldus not having a 6-inch aura, like he said. And then watching him go back to read it to try to verify it for when I got double charged on the one side of the map. And he was like, oh, I wonder if I can target both people. And then he looked and he was like, nah, I can only target one person with this. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And it's like, no, 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 you target one person in melee with you. Not within 6 inches of you. It says engagement range. And his army, the army rule he has is actually really cool. It's just needs to know how to use it. Because I think like you open with +2 inches to move, and then you like swap to the other one usually, like the strength one. But it always depends. Like, this is kind of the issue. You have to know your you have to know the scaling, right? Because on average into anything with armor, you take the +1 to wound roll. That's just so good. It's Oath of Moment, but universal, and only against things equal to or greater than your strength. That's usually why you use Oath of Moment, is you're trying to bring down something big. This is a small token thingy. So, like, sometimes you want to add to your strength in the match. Sometimes you don't really care, necessarily. Because equal strength is still just as good as higher. So, stick into, like, your move. And then the things that Grimaldus can do, where you're just picking, like, a single unit up. That's all, like, really cool. Like, I landed my Demon Prince there because I assumed it was 6. Like, I put him there, and I looked, and I was like, alright, that's gotta be within 6 for the edge of my base, which means if you base to base me, you have to take it. Like, I'm working off of the wrong information for my own tactics. It's like, goddamn, bro. Yeah, that's why I did it. Because you have to base... The assumption is you have to base to base. You have to. If you're going to be in combat. And if it's in the fight phase, like, that's when it triggers. And it's like... Alright, you had to roll, like, You had to roll a 6 on the dot to get around it. Because you would have landed, like, just within an inch. And then you could have gone in. But, like, you rolled a 7. And it's like, alright, well, there's the 7. That guarantees one guy is in base to base. At the very least. But then it's like, oh, by the way, not actually 6 inches. It's like, no. Because, yeah, I've talked to a lot of the competitive players at the store, and the detachment he's running and stuff, it's good. Like, it's got play. I know people lean into, like, Gladius and whatever, or, like, whatever Iron Hailstorm, or, like, they'll go into the regular detachment rules with the Black Templar and do well, but the Black Templar rules are all still really good if you go into them and know what you're doing. So it's not like he's picking a weaker detachment. Even though I know he keeps saying, like, I have the weak stuff, but I want to play only Black Templar. It's like, no, you've got a good detachment, bro. Got good detachment, motherfucker. How does this... No, it has to be this way. This thing is insane. I do not like this, but I kind of like it. I'm hoping they add more detachments again. Like, I hope they over-inundate and hit us with, like, new Grotmus detachments again. Just, like, some dumb stuff. I don't think they will, because that's a little bit too much. Well, there we go. I'm going to let this dry like this. And then we're going to crackle paste. We're going to do like a bunch of crackle paste here. And then we're going to put glue on the connecting points and shove it down into it and just reassess. I think. Yeah, because it kind of looks like it's crawling out of stuff. Like a centipede. We need the staff, though. Staff mode. Ooh, staff and 2 arm blades. Okay. What up, broshi? But yeah, Rand, there's a couple guys in here that I think I'm gonna try to magnetize. I know you can just kind of like declare. I don't know. I think it'd be nice to magnetize. We're doing all right. We're getting through this insanity. Getting these builds together. Oh, you guys didn't like the Mimi news report of riots? It was like a fake news thing. Broshi. It was like advertisement basically. It's supposed to be kind of funny. Apparently this kind of gets inlaid down here. Like there's a connecty point. I guess to reinforce the midsection. Max, we gotta help you with like, do we need to make like cheat cards? And not like throwing smoke. I use cheat cards when I play Chaos Knights because I need to remember my buffs and debuffs. Because yeah, we were looking over the Black Templar rules. And there's like a small handful of things where we need to like maybe reassess some stuff. Just to make sure we know what's going on. Make sure we know like what Grimaldus buff is called, what like detachment buff is called, like that kind of stuff. Max, I play a ton. I still use tokens for that kind of stuff because I don't want to forget that I've got like +1 or +inch to aura and stuff like that. Like, there's 100% value. Grimaldus Litanies, which you got to pick one of 3 every, like, what is it, battle round? And then it's the same as your main rule, which is every battle round, which is similar to, like, the Fulgrim one where I always have to, like, mark, like, okay, he's fights first mode now, like, that kind of stuff. And then the Magnus rules on top of it. Oh, yeah, you might want to double check your Hellbrick rules. Where the hell do these go? Oh, no way. Are they up? No. No, they are. Wait, are they? Where the hell do these go? Copy pasta. Yeah, it's a roll of d6. Oh, I see where these go now. Holy crap. Why would you make me glue these on now? No! No. I could have glued these on so much sooner and it would have been better. Yeah, but it says within engagement range, man. 6 inches isn't engagement range. Because, yeah, the add 1 per 5, it's there. All that stuff is there, and that's cool. It's cool because it's basically like a smaller, more like reverse impact or pro impact mortal wound function. But it still requires engagement range. You're not wasting what could be good games. We just got to get you to the full tilt. Because the detachment you were running against us is actually good. We just got to make sure everything's engaged and good to go. And memorized. Like +1 to wound into equal or greater strength. Huge. So good. Where does this one go? This one kind of goes over top. I hate all of this. Behold, the Necron Geomancer. Well, that's what I'm saying. This is why I like using like cheat tokens and cards. That way, like, I'm not gonna forget what's going on. Like even some of the like the more active professional players I play against, well, professional in air quotes, professional like competitive players I play against, they'll use Battle Shock tokens. They'll use all of them because it is worth knowing. 100%, it is worth knowing. When I play my Chaos Cultists, I try to have on hand like all the things that they get in their different mutation forms based on token. Like it's too much to track to just try to remember every moment of the game. All right, let's get some primer down on all of these bases so that I can get the crackle paste put on it as well. Yeah, man. We're playing games till 5 in the morning. We're not trying to rush anyone into not knowing their rules. Alright, that one's good. We'll probably end up just doing, if we want to keep going with the clock to try to speed things up, we might get away from the sort of round clock, because my clock can pause. So, like, if we want to take a break between rounds, or if we got to do, like, something else real quick, I can always pause the clock. But we can literally set it for, like, a 3-hour game and just go. Since, like we were talking about, you got the first 2 turns, or at least the first turn shouldn't be super bad. The second turn is usually really bad for timing. Third turn is usually super bad for timing. Fourth and fifth turn is usually, like, a lot less. So, like, it might just be better for us to do, like, the overarching game clock. And then if we need to step away for a minute, like I said, you just hold it down and it pauses. Well, competitive round is like 3 hours. If we wanna just do that, we can. Although I don't think we'll get past turn 3. We could always up it to like 4 hours and see where we go from there, and then cut it down as we get faster. In major games, yeah, deserved. The clock will be more useful. For a lot of us, that's really the break point, is whether or not we're like, oh yeah, we'll use a clock this round. Tends to be like where certain wins and losses occur. The one player I usually practice a lot against has lost a couple highly competitive games simply because he didn't have the clock. Stopwatch, you think? What, to see how long it takes? Yeah, we could do that. I like how this looks. It's not as cool as the Psychomancer, but it's pretty cool. We'll get the base for it going soon. Let's get into the giant beetle tanks. These are the first things I'm going to need to decide on some magnetization for. But yeah, like some of the players I've played with, they've talked about how they've actually lost major tournaments because they're in like the last table, top whoever wins it wins the tournament kind of situation, And they try to keep it casual, and they're like, we don't really need clocks. Next thing they know, they're being timed out by someone who's taking forever to roll things. And it's just like, dude. Alright, B36. B37. Using precision against psychers, like, strategically, not always the best option, because I can always hide my psycher behind a wall and then put his squad forward, and you can't precision him out. Like, honestly, of everything I've read about the Black Templar, that +1 to wound thing is probably one of your greatest abilities you have access to. Also, your Feel No Pain is a ploy, so when you decide to use it, you gotta let us know that that's what's happening. We had assumed your squad had the Feel No Pain, but, like, we didn't see it in the enhancements. We didn't see it. No, it's not. We triple checked most of your stuff. Where would it come from? Do you have like a secondary guy in the squad that provides it? Like, do you have a biologist or something in that squad? Like, we're trying to figure that out. Because we know you have a command point ploy for it. Which we were like, that's cool. That's fine. But, like, we were looking around and we started to notice none of your guys. Like Cap Grimald, you had an Emperor's Champion, and Hellbrick. So Grimaldus himself has the Feel No Pain. So him and his, I think, squad have it. But that won't work until you get to him. Because you had him in, what, a Crusade squad? A Sword Breath squad? What do they have? So the Crusader squad doesn't have it. Sword Breath squad doesn't have it. And you were getting a Castellan, right? Like, you were looking into getting a Castellan. Let me take a look. Yeah, so just let us know, like, I'm going to ploy that squad. Because, like, the way the conversation was going, we assumed the squad had it just built in. We were like, Makes a melee attack, destroys one or more. So he gets that. When this model is leading a squad, units select to fight, take a leadership. If passed until the end of the phase time, model makes an attack, you can reroll. Nah, Castellans don't have the Feel No Pain. Unless it's an item? Nope. Nope, they don't have it. They do get a good ability, though. You force battle shocks, and then it looks like you get a reroll of 1 if they fail. Wait. Fight, take a leadership test for that unit. Select a model leading. This model is leading a unit. Each time it is select a fight, take a leadership test for that unit if passed. Oh, okay. Okay, so you leadership your own squad, which can... It's not a battle shock test. Leadership test, I don't think is battle shock. Until that test is passed, otherwise it has failed. So yeah, it's not a battle shock test, so you won't be battle shocked when you do it. It's just whether or not you're going to get a full hit reroll or a hit reroll of 1, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. What's fueled by wrath? Yeah. Yeah, fueled by... I mean, as long as it's a ploy, it's fine. We just need to know. Yeah, also, if it's mortals only, you can't just activate it randomly. It's mostly for, like, if I hit you with a Doom Bolt or grenades or something. Or tank shock you. Or I have a lot of really cool dev wounds. Yeah, that's the thing that kept you with that Tech Marine alive, so we couldn't get the bonus points on it. Ugh. I hate spellcasting in Thousand Suns, man. Because, like, for that to work the way it did, I had to get super lucky on the rolls. And I did. Only for you to be like, haha, fuck off. And it's like, man, my super luck outdone by statistical normality. Like, you were going to shave one of those threes if you hit me with statistical normality. And it's like, dude, the hoops I have to jump for. Yeah, I got Baby Doom. But I had to full roll the damage on Baby Doom, which is like way luckier than getting full Doom. And I did roll full damage on Baby Doom, and then you got average on that. It's like you get just easy access to it. It's not like you had to take a test to see if you got the Feel No Pain. I would have to take a test. Which is so annoying. I just wish there were more pluses. Like, I'm cool with the test taking, but, like, give me Hellbrutes that give me +1 to the cast. Because Hellbrutes used to interact with Cabal. Now they don't. Like, give me something that gives me +1 outside of, I want to say, Magnus is, like, the only thing, and then MVBs. I don't even know if Magnus does it. Like, if my army's gonna be built around... It's like the Death Guard concept, right? The army's built around the aura. Everyone just gets it. It's there. It's not like they have to take a test with each squad to see if it's on. And then it does things to interact. Like, it'll allow certain things to 6-inch deep strike. It gives you free rerolls on stuff. Like, it just hands you bonuses as you go. And you're just like, bonuses. I love it. Whereas I'm out here like, I just have to roll one thing, and if it doesn't work, that squad's dead. Like, there we go. I don't have the option. I'm just dead. Like, granted, it would be like if all of your Blood Angels have to take a test to see if they get their +1 to strength on charge. Like, that's insane. Beetle body. Oh no, I don't know if I can magnetize these. Oh, maybe. Oh, I might not even have to magnetize these. Okay, we need, before we glue. Okay. So this one is like a solo connection. But yeah, but Rain, imagine having to roll to see if you get your +2 to strength. You run in and you're like, yeah, and then it's like roll 1 dice on a 1 or a 2, you don't get +2 to strength. Like, to not to be like, I'm going in on this tank, oh, my strength's not going up. Like, that would suck so much. But that's my life as a Thousand Suns player. It's just being like, man, I really hope I get my double move here. Oh shit, I really hope I can get some rerolls on you. It's so bad. Alright, so this one can't get a gun change. This one is straight up the gun it's going to be. So we'll be able to see the inner workings, and then the other one will hopefully be able to be built with the magnet in mind. $35, $34. So yeah, the way it kind of works. Looks like there's like a top wire. Oh no, there is. There's a top wire that's going to sit in this thing. I mean, that's not super bad. We're just going to need to figure out where the magnet's going to go. It's probably going to go... I'm probably just going to have to get a magnet stuffed in here. And then we're going to have to figure out how to size the magnet at a cutoff point on this thing. So that this fits the way it's supposed to. No, yeah, the sword doesn't have the prevention or the damage potential for fallback. I mean, that's why I asked. That's kind of the trick of the game. Once you learn all the possibilities that are, like, normal, you start learning how to ask, like, I want to fall back here. Do you have anything for the fallback? Because the game's heavily moved away from gacha. Which... honestly, since the game has 3-year rule cycles, kind of a good idea. Because I would hate to be at the end of a 3rd-year cycle and be like, I finally know. I know how to play. And I know all the things. And then the game's suddenly just like, alright, we're getting rid of all those rules and they're all changing. And it's like, no. That's why I ask in every situation. Behold the first component for the beetle tank. The big bad Beetleborg. Yeah, you can try that. What was the main thing I was looking at for Grimbaldus? I think the main thing for him was trying to put him on point and then activating +1 toughness from his litany. Because you do need a... You either need an on-point unit or you need, like, a clapback unit. And with his +1 to charge rolls, he's actually pretty good for clapback potential. But yeah, if you have a Ballistus Dread, I think usually people either backline him or... Ballistus Dreads are good on frontline, I think, or, like, midfield. They're usually, like, an expansion point guy. Where is that? Ballistus. There he is. This model makes a ranged attack. Yeah, you kind of want him around midfield because he gets that really fun reroll hit roll function, which is so good. Find a fresh target with him, get full hit rerolls. He has a built-in oath function. That's just, it's nice. Grimbaldus. Dreadbaldus. Alright, B39, B42. But everything you pick kind of has to have, like, the purpose, right? Like, when I'm picking Terminators, it's not so that I can chase units down. It's so that I can put them on points and be obnoxious. Like, that's what they're there for. They're my go-to points hold function. So, like, there's very few spots on the field that I think you're ballistic. Or would you do ballistus and then also keep your frontline melee dread? Because the frontline melee dread's the one that I think is supposed to go to, like, a forward point and be obnoxious. It's usually the good one. And then if you're still running Hellbrick, you try to keep Hellbrick, like, within a certain range of that vehicle, just behind it. So that by the time the dread's dead, Hellbrick is finally like, it's my time to shine, and then he just, like, runs out. Has his go turn to take back the point. I was actually hella surprised that my my Enlighten took out a Vindicator. That kind of blew me away when that actually worked out. I was assuming I was gonna, like, get it to half or at best bracket it, and then it was like kill mode. Well, were you rolling advance rolls for your squads moving up that weren't gonna make it to combat? I can't remember, because I feel like you would move a squad up and then it would move like 6 and stop. And then, like, I didn't know if you advanced it or not. Because, again, as an EC player whose entire focus of the game is on whether or not my advance rolls are good, I'll have games where I'll roll the advance rolls for the squads that are, like, most important to get to position. And if I fail getting the number I need, I completely change my strategy. Because I'm like, well, that's not going to be where I want it. No one else is gonna put themselves in a position to get chewed apart and then have nothing as a response. Yeah, so you just have to reassess. And when you're playing with someone else, I guess that's kind of the key conversational point, is that a lot of your mobility is based on your advance roll in turn 1. So the person you're playing with almost has to watch to see if you're able to, like, go places. If not, they have to, like, change decisions. Because if you're not able to make it, you're not able to make it. That's just how it is. It is the problem of EC. It seems to be a similar problem. Oh, this better not grab the side of the gun. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. No, yeah, it's fine. And you can set up closer. Yeah, like Rand's saying. You can hide in a lot of places. There should always be, like, some good forward deploy spots, at least. Sadly, I am noticing that most of, like, the more effective units out of the Black Templar don't have, like, built-in scout or something. So, you're at least not getting, like, super forward. But you're getting decently forward. Big bad beetle tank coming at you. Yeah, but Godhammer is tank focused. Well, no, you have scout options. They're called scouts. Right? Or are they the Reavers? There's stuff you probably don't want to run. For one reason or another. Who does it? Tactical, is it? Let me take a look at these guys. Scout squad, Reaver squad. Tactical doesn't. These guys don't. Scout Squad does. Infiltrator Scout 6, still one of the strongest B in midfield units in existence. Reavers have built-in Scout 6. That's pretty brutal. Normal advanced fallback move. Ignore any vertical distance when determining the total distance. That doesn't matter. Oh, and then you just give them... Oh, shit. Dude, Reaver squads. They get Deep Strike. Which, I mean, Scout 6 is the important one. They'd probably be on field anyway. Yeah, Reavers aren't bad. They're not the best, but they're not bad. If they get your actual... If they get your actual team rule, they have precision built in. They have combat knives, so a 4-1-1. They're basically the exact same thing as my infractors. But because you're a Black Templar, you give them the litany for like +1 strength. That makes it a 5 if you want to go that route. And then if you have the built-in +1 to wound constantly on equal or greater, I mean, these guys shred. It looks like these guys shred pretty hard for an 80-point 5-man team. That's 80 points that you can just scout forward near mid or the far point or an expansion point, and then just go to point with a squad that you don't care about losing. And then you have your big-ass squad of Hellbrick or something within a decent enough range to clap back, but still being fairly safe. Like, these are the units you need to figure out how to add. Is like 1 or 2 of like a Reaver or Scout squad to be like, come here, kill my 60 or 80 points of nothing. Guess what? Hellbrecht. Yeah, it's not the worst. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. But it's not meant to run in and like show everyone in the entire game how cool they are. They're meant to just kind of like show up, do a job, die, because I mean, whatever. Oh, dude, 275 points. That is so much points for mechanical stuff. And then you said you take a Ballistus. So Ballistus is like a little over half that. And then you have like room for 1 or 2 mechanic squads. That's why I gotta start using more Zangors. Keeping them safe. They're my baby mechanic squads. Yeah, it's a lot more. A lot more to position, block locations, move to points, force people out to them. Scouts make sticky, right? Or is it just, it's not just the intercessors? If you have a command point sticky, that would be sick with something that can scout and go in and infiltrate. Yeah, but sometimes you can have a detachment rule for sticky. I think the one that Iron Hands players mostly use... I can't remember what it's called. One of the detachments in the Space Marine Codex allows you to pay a command point to sticky, but you sticky with the landmine sticky. So if somebody goes in to take it out, they take D3 mortals, potentially. So you scout in, you scout infiltrate in, you stand on the objective if you go first, you sticky it right off the rip, and then you uppy downy if possible. Yeah, you don't have to go that oath though. You can if you go an oath like that, because your oath is one off. You can't change it, right? So if you go that route, you kind of have to build your army entirely for it, which means you'd probably have like a ton of scout squads, and then you have the clapback, because then you just scout into the enemy's expansion point as well as your own expansion point, and you just sticky both of them, and then you try to get like good clapback squads into range to counter it. Because you're just going to force the enemy out. Like, they can't leave you with... They can't allow 2 midpoints to be sticky. They can't. It probably only really works in jail units because jail squads aren't high enough in toughness to really matter on average. Because jail units, they want you to, like, just be stuck. But if you hold them back while sticking points and forcing them to have to go places they don't want to go, it's, like... just extra brutal. Because that's a list that you're gonna build that doesn't require the +1 to wound roll, which I feel like +1 to wound is just so good that you almost don't want to have to build the other ways. Big Bad Beetleborg. You coming together. Well, that's the problem. Case by case. Like... So going precision into Psyker almost doesn't matter. Like I said, you can always hide your Psyker behind a building. So it's like, whatever. Whereas, into me, like if you go into like, you're going to start, you see a lot of Terminators basically, is kind of the way Thousand Suns are going, which means our toughness is always going to be higher than yours and at a -1 to wound. So you're going to be swinging on us for like 6 to wound. So it's like so much better for them to just take the +1 to wound roll, so you're back down to 5 and you just don't care about it. And like we're the most Psyker army you could possibly go into. And it's still worthwhile for just +1 to wound. Because then you go into our monsters and you're wounding demon princes on, I want to say 4s. Which is really good if you're swinging on us like 1,000 times. The whole defensive option that a Demon Prince has is that, on average, people have to roll 5s into them. If not more. But if you're like, yeah, I'm just rolling 4s into your Demon Prince, it's like, oh, man. And you get full hit rerolls? Come on. almost done this big bad beetle board. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying about, like, cheat sheets, tracking stuff. I played against people who, like, their main army is, like, Ultramarines, and their whole purpose is Oath, and they'll still be, like, halfway through the move phase when they're like, ah, crap, I forgot Oath. I think this can be mildly easy to magnetize. I'm just going to have to be very exacting. But yeah, these are the beetles. Like, what's the main thing it gives you for Psyker? Does it give you precision? Because I'm going to tell you, you don't need precision into my DPs. That's it. They're just DPs. They DP, bro. Let me take a look. You can reroll the charge roll, melee weapons equipped, yeah, like, don't, well, reroll charge rolls? It's not that good, especially if you're able to do your advanced charge thing that you get, like, one squad with. It almost doesn't matter. You should be trying to position yourself in a way where you're just going to get to me anyway. Like, rerolling a charge roll is a command point. +1 to wound, you don't have access to without, like, this. So, like, that is so much better into a T9, T10 unit. Especially when you go to, like, strength 5. When you go to strength, like, what is your max strength? How high do you go? 6? What's your average strength? Like, what do you use mostly? Do you use Crusader squads or Sword Brethren? Like, is your Crusader squad, like, the normal body, or is it, like, Sword Brethren more for you? Because then beyond that, it's Wrathful Procession, which lets you then pick +1 to strength. Yeah, because you're gonna go Chorus of Relentless turn 1 on average. Turn 2, you switch over to +1 strength. Which, by the way, every time we're like, wait, what was that? Because you'll tell us, like, I'm going Chorus of Relentless, and we're like, what? All you gotta do is be like, I'm going +2 move, +1 advance. It's so much easier. +1 strength, which should help you in the long run too. If you don't really care about the name, like, I don't know the names of all 6 of the Chaos Knight enhancements for the auras, but I know what they do. Cause yeah, you +1 to strength, rocking. Let's say you're rocking even Crusader squads. No, Crusader squads have chain swords. That takes it to 5. That means you're wounding my Demon Prince on foot on 5s. But then your Sword Brethren seem to be, what, average Mastercrafted power weapons? What do they get? For every 5, Thunderhammer, Chainsword replaced with any number. So you just go Mastercrafted power weapons. You're already strength 5. You go to 6, you're wounding my Demon Prince on foot on 4s. Yeah, and then Rand just does Lethal Lance. But, like, Rand's Lance is literally your Oath. And you just have it. Like, you don't need... Like, you just have it. It's great. I don't know how many Sword Brethren you go, though. I don't feel like you try to take more than, like, 1 small squad. These guys are expensive AF. They're good, but they're expensive AF. But then even chainswords, like if you win a Crusader squad, declared the 5 for the chainsword, then yeah, you're wounding my Demon Prince on 5s, but you're getting 4 attacks per chainsword. Usually with full hit rerolls from your squad command. It's just so much better of like a combination. So you go 5 of these guys for a 1k. Yeah, you're into Demon Princess. You're with your sword brother and you're wounding him on 4s. Like you're just wounding him on 4s with good damage weaponry. You just have to get everyone in. Like 2 times now I've seen you do like a long bomb charge and get like 3 guys in. That's what's killing you. Is trying to go for a unit you can't get more than 3 people into. That is horrifyingly bad as like a problem. But if you know that the thing you're charging into is low on toughness, you probably can just leave the movement speed bonus on and just go for it. Like honestly, +2 to move, you're moving baseline faster than a Emperor's Children unit, but you won't get your advance and charge without what, like a ploy that you have or something like that. But you're already just moving generally faster. 8-inch move is really nice to just get up next to someone. Ugh, back to building. Keep getting distracted. Second beetle. This is going to be the first magnet. I might not be able to get to the little guys this stream. I might have to do them off stream. That way we can try to at least get started on painting soon-esque. Then we got to figure out the gun here. We'll get both of them put together so we can see how this is going to work. Because, like, the Crusaders aren't bad. Honestly. Like, Crusaders, you can make base strength 5, which is nice. That specs pretty decently into most things outside of, like, Death Guard. And the fact that you'd have built-in +1 to wound as an option makes that strength 4, strength 5 thing not as bad. Because if you're going into like a Death Guard's toughness 6 unit, you can leave them strength 4 and just get more speed if you need it. Because you're still wounding for the same number. Yeah, and then Helbrecht adds 1 to the attack and strength characteristic. So if he's in a Crusader squad, which is what you said you, I think, wanted because of High Martial ability, those are chainswords strength 5 that can go up to 6. I think that outspecs most general things in Death Guard, but like Terminators are still 7, which is insane. I think they're still 7. But then you get +1 to wound anyway. But I think that's where the key of it comes in, is just learning where the bracketing is. And then once we figure out a general game plan for like what you go into, where you're like, what's your toughness? And we're like, toughness 4. And you're like, I don't have to do +1 strength like at all during this game. I'll just stick with +2 move for the bulk of it. And be super fast. But again, the problem with the large squad is how you can get everyone in. Positioning for large squads is very hard. Genuinely very hard. As a person who's watched, like, people who play Horde Orcs and stuff, if they don't roll well enough on their movement during their WOG phase, if they're too far away, they get, like, 3-4 people in. That's why that ploy exists, to be like, yo, everyone within, like, 6 is in base to base. Because if you screw up, at least you've got a ploy to make up for that fact. Because, yeah, 20-man squad's great, but if you only have 2 people in base to base, it's not good. That's endgame, bro. Alright, let's see. There's little guns on this this sprue, so I'm thinking this sprue actually does involve the guns for the little dudes. Which I was hoping they didn't. What's up, Potato? Yep, getting some Necrons together. This is sort of a holiday and birthday overall gift for a buddy of ours. Yeah, these are all the little baby guns. Alright, let's figure out the magnets. Well, I need to remember relentless momentum. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Cheat sheets. Cheat sheets are the way to go. Eventually, you'll probably absorb all the information you need, but until then, cheat sheets. They make the world go around. Like, I'll play Mercurial out of EC, and I'll completely forget that I have free rerolls of advanced rolls every single time. It's super annoying. Like, that's the whole purpose of that team, is to just advance roll all the time. Ran that here, saying he learns better without. Still forgetting to oath. Eventually you'll get it. Next edition. Oh, it's probably just time of day, Potato. I feel like a lot of Europeans are probably up right now. What's up, Francois? Yeah, I stream at weird hours, Potato. Mostly because I work nights. Ooh, paint on the leg's done? Now I gotta do the other leg. Damn. Apparently no one brought, like, any big titans to the Thanksgiving event. that happened at the local store. They were debating, people were thinking that there'd be like a second game done where they would pull out Titans just for that game. They opted out. It's like 4 o'clock here. So yeah, it should be getting kind of early for the Euro crowd. I think, right? Or late. Like, no, yeah, it's late for like the close Euro crowd. Back when I used to stream like bright and early in the morning. People would be like, yeah, it's like midday, it's lunch. Okay. So, the idea. Wrong way. This is going to be peculiar. But I think if we cut off at the hammer, the little component down here, put the hammer in, and then put a magnet in that. If we cut off the same thing here and do the same kind of magnetic polarity, it comes down to basically taking the gun, maybe bringing it in sideways, sliding it into the gap, making it snap in, and then this wire will just like pop straight up. So you don't even need to really glue the wire there. Oh, you want to talk elaborate? This was a lot more pieces than you think. And they told me to glue these things on at the end, which absolutely stupid. And I think the person I played against that plays Canoptek Circle told me about that, and I completely forgot when I got to him. But yeah, because you can glue these on like right away. You don't have to glue them on at the end, and that way you actually can see, and you're not like dealing with the shoulders in the way. You can just put them in. You'll be fine. So that's super fun for me. Alright, so we're going to try this. But we need to be kind of careful. There we go. I don't know if we need to glue the hammer in, though. I could probably just get away with making sure I have a magnet tall enough to just fit. Do we? This is literally the same height. Whoa. Might need to be thinner though. Let me grab my magnet box. Oh, nice. Playing Astra Militarum, or are you just getting stuff? Just painting things, potato? Oh, nice. I think I have small enough magnets. we're going to want to put something in there. I got a little bit of green stuff, maybe. Yeah, it's fine. Stuff's fun to paint. I got a whole ass Archeon sitting in my little display case off to the side here. I don't really play Slaves to Darkness AOS, so he's just chill. I got an Abaddon I don't use either. He's pretty chill too. Oh, nice. Is it still the Chaos Dwarf or no? They changed it? Because it's the December mini of the month now, right? Oh, it's Alpha Legion? Duh, F? I need to look at that. Doesn't need to be pretty. Just needs to be able to hold. Try to pick it up to the full height. Tempted to drop normal dread for Brutalis. I mean, it's a thing. It's just stuff you have to try out while simultaneously having a plan from the beginning. If the idea is that the Brutalis goes up and tries to lure people in, do some damage before dying, and then have some follow-up, that's how it is. Yeah, Potato, we are on YouTube. I am currently not combining chat in the top left corner because the known understanding of what's going on is that if you have both chats up here, Twitch will be like TOS and then give you a timeout for like a week. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. I was trying to find out a way to get both chats, like one up here, one down here maybe, but it's a little weird. So yeah, once this dries, that's the idea, is to be able to just drop that in, magnetize, and then it just goes. I almost don't even need that. That kind of holds. That just means you're thin air, Potato Lover. That's what I think we do. Oh yeah, that is the plan. Depending on what gets here as well, we might even have other components to paint. I ordered some Morghasts, the little flying Ozark Bone Reaper things. Yeah. Let me get this off my finger. A little bit super glue and a magnet. Hopefully it's decently fine. We'll find out. Not every day. I haven't streamed in a while. It's whenever I have projects to put together. And then sometimes over here on Twitch I'll do game streams as well. We have a Discord. Should be linked. Maybe? I can't remember if I updated the Twitch stuff with the Discord. Should still be there. It's where we'll announce things and talk about stuff. Got a lot of Warhammer things over there, like how to build, people put their works in progress up, all that kind of stuff. Super fun. Little super glue down here. Oh, nice. Let me manually give you your rank of neophyte. There you go. Alright, these need to now dry for a bit. Give them a second. I can't wait to hate doing what I just did to a bunch of little macrocytes. I think it's only like 4. Is it 4 or 3? Because I know there's an accelerator and the other one, the healer. Alright. To be clear, Max, running it down mid is going to be a great way of, like, coin flip dying, but the coin flip is, like, 10% in your favor. Because people will just be like, no. I mean, that's how Twitch works, Potato. We're in a niche of a niche bracket. I am not a known painter or modeler. Like, I've won no golden demons. I just love the game. Specifically Kill Team. I love Kill Team. Honestly, Max, the only way for you to get your Black Templars across the field as like a rush down mid team is the Land Raider strat. But like Land Raiders cost so much and are so hard to move that it's not that great. Which is probably why people play a lot of Godhammer, I guess. Because like your guys are very flimsy. So being able to rush up on someone with a bunch of Land Raiders, dump like 30 people out or whatever, like 20 something people out, and then run in on people. I mean, that's kind of it. Necrons are going to be a rarity over here. If you're coming here specifically for Necrons, that's probably not going to be the constant. This is explicitly because of a buddy of ours. What you're going to see beyond this, which hopefully happens before I start painting these, although I'd probably do them off stream, we're going to try to convert 2 Morgists with the wings into 2 Demon Princes with wings for my Thousand Sons. And then we're going to paint them all together. Yeah, and impulsors, I guess. Sorry, Potato. We're trying to help our one buddy with his Black Templar army come up with fun ideas for potential full rushdown. As a person who built a bunch of Necromunda gangs, yeah, these are kind of close in scale of annoyance. Not completely on par, but they're there. I will say the Geomancer is easier to put together than the Psychomancer. By like a long shot. I've also built a ton of GSC, which, I mean, that's basically the Necromunda 40k gang. If you want to experience the Necromunda lifestyle of super tiny parts, tons of detail. I was debating bringing the rock grinder I have for Jack to play with, but I didn't want to like put a rock grinder in that list. Necromunda Potato Lover is sort of like smaller scale games, focuses more on individual models, builds. It's a little closer to like an RPG. There's like a lot more narrative elements, a lot more ways for things to screw up. Like, I watched a game once because some people at my local store are trying to get into Necromunda, so they'll take part in, like, learning games and sequences and stuff, and, like, the overall narrative events that other people put together. And in a game, I watched one person shoot a grenade launcher. He was like, I got this. Grenade launcher, away. The grenade launcher failed. He rolled a failure on the little dice roll. And it was the kind of failure where the grenade blows up in his own grenade launcher. So he was surrounded by like 3 of his own teammates who all took damage from it. They all immediately got knocked out. And then he rolled to test the wound rolls, where you see like what kind of negative effects you may or may not have. And they all died. Every single one of them. So he killed half of his own gang in like one go. So, like, it's not like you're not, like, necessarily an individual. You're kind of like the manager of your gang. Like, the head of it. But, yeah, people have, like, a lot of almost D&D style statting and things to think about. It's pretty cool. No, it's like modern era. The models are more modern era. It's people are in 40k are so used to seeing like the Space Marines and stuff. That's not the whole universe. That's only a tiny chunk of the universe. Once you start getting into the backwaters is when you start running into things that are more like Necromunda-esque. Lower tech. I think like there was like the word was that the oh no, they're not metal models. They're plastic. Some of them are some of them are resin. But like this is a Necromunda model. Let me try to. Yeah, there you go. This is a Necromunda Gene Stealer from an irradiated Gene Stealer group. Oh, he puts his one claw up. Like he's taking a step forward. That's cool. Or is he? Oh no, he is walking like an extended diagonal. Oh no. I mean, I can glow him that way. Make it look like he's walking forward. This was probably supposed to be turned down a little bit. There's a little bit of a difference then. Unless I can pry it. Which I don't think is going to easily be possible right now. Ooh. Ooh. There we go. Do you fight with your gangs? You fight mostly with your gangs, but like there's ways. So at the narrative that we were doing, the guy running the event decided he would play the police force. Like no one else was playing the police force, so he decided to play the police force, and the police force kind of acted like an NPC gang. So if like one team was getting too strong, or like if there needed to be like a big moment of like pushing someone down in terms of their power output, that's what he was there for. Because he would play like a force that was crazy. Like he would give himself way more in terms of like power output was his whole thing. So what would end up happening is, you know, you would start playing. I think this is how they actually want it to be. There's no way that this one claw can be put back. Yeah, they only make you glue the two parts down, which make me think they want you to put the claw forward. Okay. So, like, he kind of played an NPC faction. It wasn't related to the overall game. But, like, you can play games separately, like, on your own. But I think the way people try to play Necromunda is with, like, a games master. To try to manage everything, keep everything in check. Which is pretty cool. And yeah, they did update the version like a while ago. I think it was like 3 years ago, 2 years ago they dropped the new book. That got everyone excited. And then it's the Gene Stealer team got added alongside with like more stuff for one of the like higher tech factions. Yeah. I'd say it's a cult favorite for some people because it is highly narrative. So if you're the kind of person who in your head you're completely cool with failing just because of a dice roll, like one dice roll just absolutely annihilates you, and it's your dice roll that does it, then like it's cool. You should also play Thousand Suns. LOL. Yeah, now they're also doing like ash wastes and stuff. It's pretty cool. I have a ton of ash waste gangers. I use them as cultists. Yeah, I've got a lot of nomads. I don't want to buy like the advanced nomads. Like there's some really cool things the nomads get. Like some crazy like psychic bug controllers and stuff. But I just need them for cultists is all. I love them as cultists. Local game stores and online game stores tend to put them on sale pretty effectively because people don't really care about playing Ash Waste Nomads. And those who do pretty much have everything they would need. Alright. So, plan check. I don't know. May have to reassess. It's not popping down. It might be the magnet that's causing the issue. Might be too wide. It's cool though. Like occasionally, I think I'm on the second one. You might have come in with the first one, right? We're trying to figure out the magnetization because one of these is able to swap between guns. You'll probably always want the bigger gun, which is fine. I don't even think I need a magnet. Holy crap. I wonder if I can just get like a pin. Like one of these. Maybe I can just pin coming out. Like a little bit. Well, the magnets are me. That's me making it complex, specifically. Because, yeah, they're way more complex than they need to be, honestly. It's going all right, J. Peacock. Dry for a little bit. Time is at 4:31. Still got a little bit of time. Maybe we'll do the crackle paste component because I don't want to glue these down until the crackle paste is on, and then we'll shove them down into it, and then we're gonna kind of reassess the positioning. Crackle paste. Golden brand. You are able to like build stuff up with this. You can do crazy things with it. Goes on like cake freaking icing. But yeah, this is crackle paste. As it dries, components within it kind of condense and shrink. So depending on how much you add or subtract from it and how quickly it dries based on the temperature where you are, it sort of creates like glass break effect pretty much. So you can kind of play with it and make it do specific things by applying it in kind of the ways I do it. No, it's just that it's the paste itself is white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime them. Actually, I'll show you. I'll show you. Well, let me glue this guy on. And then I'll show you the process, the concept. There we go. So the paint scheme is going to be kind of like this, but instead of the magenta, it's going to be like a yellow to green. And then I think I'm going to do like a purple instead of a cobalt. That's going to then become like a phthalo blue into a light gray up top. That way the armor starts out like gray, and then I can just hit the interior components with like Garrigax speed paint. This is the sand version of the texture paste surrounding cork. I'm trying to think if I have. Oh, I do. I'll show you the crackle paste. Let me see if I can get you. So the crackle paste is this pink stuff down here. It's kind of hard to see with how I painted this guy. Actually, forgot I had one of my raptors basically done with it. See it? All the little crackle lines. This is the crackle paste. Yeah. Much better for the magnetization. Good. And the other gun. As it dries, it'll crackle up. And it's kind of fluffy. Like it goes on like fluffer and utter. And depending on the shapes you make, it'll dry more like a rock than anything else. So you can almost sculpt certain types of rocks and surfaces, which is nice. I think the crackle paste that Citadel makes will show more of what's underneath it than what this will. You have to kind of take different approaches with this kind of a medium. It's just, this is so much cheaper. Like, you buy a tub of it for about the same price as a single bottle of the Citadel variant. But as they've stated, this is supposed to be designed where you can mix a pigment into it from usually the golden line, which is what they'll always say, oh, I use our pigment specifically. But you can kind of create whatever color of crackle paste you want right off the rip, is what they claim. I think I've tried it once, and I don't feel like I saw enough of the crackle from that when I did it. Like, it was fine. It wasn't incredible. Sometimes I'll stream on a weekend. My weekends tend to be taken up by playing games. Like, this is a problem with it when it comes to, like, content creation for this kind of stuff. I think Bricky talked about this once. Like, Bricky bought like one of the battle report channels that somebody he knew was building up, and it was like really good. Like, there was a lot of people watching it, but the guy talked about how it wasn't like financially viable, so he was going to bail on it. And then Bricky was like, I got this, and I'm going to see if I can get it to work. And he did it for like a year, and then it didn't work. So even he was like, I gotta bail on this. I made negative money this year doing my battle reports channel, which kind of led to the conversation that, like, a lot of people who make content for Warhammer 40k stuff, they don't really get to play the game that often because they're always super busy making the content for it. It gets really weird. Like, I'd love it if these, like, casual little streams was sort of, like, enough to fully support me, because that'd be awesome. Because then I could play games. So my weekends tend to be just playing games. Yeah, I have the equipment for it. I just need to be able to set it up. I remember we one time tried something fun where I actually set up a kill team game here, actually, under this camera, like higher up. And the whole purpose of it was so people like could come in and take over control of the opposing team, and we would basically play against each other. They would come to consensus about like the maneuver they want to make. I need this to actually glue down. I put a lot of glue on the bottom. I don't know why they're not sticking. I've been generally streaming. I stream a lot. I've streamed for decades. on and off gaming, all that stuff. Not so much tabletop. Tabletop's kind of a new thing. When I got back into tabletop, that was more of a YouTube thing. So we have a YouTube channel that I did a lot of Kill Team content for and a little bit of hobby content. Nothing major. We did like a conversion video for my Castigator night. I did a couple how-tos. I showed off some airbrush technique that I painted my Emperor's Children with. We actually got sponsored for that, which was nice. The company that makes my airbrush gave me a free one. Let's clear some of this off. Get the glue back on it. Well, that's the thing. Like, it sounds cool at first, but then everyone has to be here when we start the tutorial. If you show up too late, you're going to miss a lot of information. So what I mostly do with my streams is I consider them to be like tips and tricks streams, right? Like, if you've got questions for how I do certain things here, I'll try and answer them. No issues. Like, if you're like, hey, how'd you do that? I'll show you. I don't really care. I'll take some time. All right. Three Beetleborgs, or two Beetleborgs, big person. Oh, for 40k? I don't know. For Kill Team, this is 3 units out of the total. You're gonna get Accelerator, and then a healer, the Reanimator, and then I think you get 3 Macrosites with this team. I wonder if they added this. 5 is an elite kill team. This one is kind of halfway between elite and fodder. And then sometimes these kill teams get added into 40k. So they might have it in 40k, or they might just have like individual models. Like the Geomancer's probably in 40k as like a separate thing. Kill team. No, not kill team. 40k. They put 3 of the units in. Core rules, downloads, no. Other rules, no. Crusade, no. Imperial armor, no. Combat patrol, no. Faction packs. It's gotta be under faction packs. Nope. Not faction packs. I'm guessing they already existed in the rules then, right? Or did they add them to the Necron faction pack? Yeah, hang on. So, faction pack, and then down here, so these are the macrosites in this box. So they give you general rules for them. The points will probably be in what? The munitions. So there's the special rules, their builds. These are the 2 guys we just built, the Tomb Crawlers. These are the rules. Lethal hits, twin linked, 2, 4. It's about mid-range. These are okay guns. If they're low enough in points cost, that's probably not that bad. They're not incredible. 5-inch move. T4 is not great. Wounds 3. These are like middling, low tier, probably, with the 2 attacks, hitting on 4s. Some model unit makes range attack, ignore targets within 12. You can ignore any or all modifiers. Ballistic skill, characteristic for hit and wound. Yeah, not that good. Declare battle. Each unit can join one unit army from led by a cryptic. So these are mostly just bodyguard. Count as being part of the... Apparently they just add to whatever you have. Like you can apply these guys on top of what they already have in their squad. Which could be okay, but could suck. And then here's the leader. Oh, 50 points for 2? That's what that is just adding wounds. Like that adds 6 wounds to a squad for 50 points and then 2 guns that are mid. Depending on what the leader has to build it up, I guess, and what your detachment rule is. Because if you take a Geomancer at 8, put it in a squad of whatever is good for that, and then add these, you kind of leashed your Geomancer to like a minimum 5. But yeah, Geo is 75 points. In your movement phase, you can select one enemy unit with an 18-inch visible unit phase until it is pinned. So you slow down a unit that you can see that's 18 inches. You do that in your movement phase. So you can do that. Is it at the end? No, it's just you select. So you can do this to something within 18 of you and then move away, which is nice. While this model is within a range of an objective marker you control, enemy units set up on the battlefield from reserves can not be set up within 12 inches of. So this is a go-to point and hold it to prevent deep strike. I could see it being tactically interesting with all the uppy-downy armies that exist right now, but I don't know. The problem is I think it's just this model, right? This model setup. Battlefield research kind of. Yeah, so tiny model base. Tiny model base with a 12-inch bubble around it. It's kind of helpful, but not like super helpful. Gun, D6 plus 2. It's a flamer for 401. That's worse than a Thousand Suns flamer. 18-inch though. It's not bad. Terrorglaive. Melta 2 at 18 inches. So 9-inch Melta range. Not bad. But yeah, people probably... Oh, if this model is attached to a macrosite... Ooh, okay. Scout 8. Do these guys get Scout 8 too? No. So my guess is if you want a Scout squad that has a leader for some reason, macrosites. Because Scout 8 is sick. Scout 8 is super sick. Track 1 from the hit roll. Start of the fight phase, select one friendly Canoptek unit within 3. Till the end of the phase, improve the weapon skill. So that's why you want the beetles, because hitting on 4 sucks, so giving them the potential for 3 is nice. Once per battle round, when a friendly Necrons units within 3 of the bears, it does that unit reanimates 1 additional rune. That's not bad. I don't see people using the squad much. I mean, maybe there's a cool combo for it, but like, if you put the crawlers in the squad, I'm pretty sure like you just lose Scout 8, which, I mean, that's kind of what you want. So you would go Canoptek macrosites, maybe the Geomancer with them, no bugs, and then just move them 8 out. Get like the heals, the -1 if your opponent's heavy on melee, just -1 to hit. It's not that bad. I mean, just their statting though is not great, but their points value sounds okay. I don't know. I doubt I'll ever see any of this on the field. They're strong as hell in Kill Team, though. Strong as hell in Kill Team.
Poggers.
Oh, thanks for the follow. Probably going to have to call it here today. It's 5 o'clock. I got to go run some errands. I might build the macrosites myself. We got to let these bases dry, but hopefully we get these all together. And then hopefully I get my Demon Prince alternatives before we get to the airbrush stage, and I can get them all ready to go all at once, because these are going to get hit with white primer, and then so are my Demon Princes. So I'll just be universally good with an initial wave of just white primer. Not as bad as the Psychomancer. Does look kind of cool too. I like it. Clear some of the crackle. The magnetization is okay on this. Hopefully I don't have to do too much more with it. Then we'll have to see how the magnetization needs to go with the macrosites, even if I have to, because you could probably just get away with the guns sitting on them. In Kill Team, Wolf Scouts versus these guys. I don't know, actually. I think the Wolf Scouts will be pretty protected against them, because all you have to do is mark an area and then you can charge from conceal. These guys kind of suffer a bit from not being able to see things. The Geomancer is really the one that like makes that work by just doing its attack in areas, because the Geomancer's ability in Kill Team is actually very strong, like annoyingly strong. Specifically if you play horde teams like I do. However, I don't know if the Wolf Scouts can kill the things they need to kill in here. I think it'll all depend on whether or not the Wolf Scouts... Hang on. Yep, there we go. I'm starting to come back out again. I think it'll all come down to whether or not the Wolf Scouts are able to get to the Geomancer easily. Because that's how this team's played. This team is technically one character. Or like one thing that matters. And if it loses that thing that matters, it's over. Because the Geomancer is this team's mobility. It is this team's function for like extra everything, right? Like you need the leader on field. I want to say the main games that I saw, or at least that I've heard about from like the last major Kill Team tournament, the team that really did well in the overall tournament was the one that could get to this model like right away and just kill it, like turn 2, turn 1 maybe. Once this is dead, the team kind of crumbles. Everything in it's so weak. Hard to kill, but still weak. Like, it sucked. I did, like, I want to say 16 wounds to one of these, and then it was back to full by turn 3. I just couldn't put more damage on it. Nice. So, yep. I'm going to probably build stuff off stream. Hopefully we get my demons in a day or two. And then we can actually get to painting, which would be nice. Got a tournament coming up this Saturday, and I've got a lot of assets together that we need to look at as well. We might do a day this week of sort of like a war room. I've got all the maps together. I've got all the rules together. We can talk about like best case scenarios. I need to try to make, I guess, assets that I can move around on the screen to show you guys the size of the bases we're dealing with, since I am playing knights, and a lot of what you're going to see is me trying to figure out where to stand with my knights so that I don't immediately die. That'll be super fun. But yeah, till next time, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for talking. Don't forget there's a community Discord. It's usually where I announce if I'm going live, and we just talk about the game in general over there. Later, everyone.